Ridge, New Jersey. I'm at the home of my good friend, Junie Moon Schreiber. We celebrated Thanksgiving together. We've been doing some brainstorming. We're going to be putting together a retreat that we're going to share more about with you some other time. But we're just sharing each other's space and having a great old time and practicing the idea of gratitude and generosity. Welcome, Junie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. And I'm having you here too. We're just being really generous with each other, aren't we?
It is. And just so you know, folks, Tommy is away on vacation right now with his wife in Tucson, Arizona, I think. And so he's not able to join us today, but he will be back next week and we'll talk more about that later. But I wanted to get into the topic of this concept of generosity. And, you know, what is gratitude in the first place? What is it?
I don't know. This was your topic. What was
it's a conversation.
No. Yes, it is. It really is. Gratitude for me is an acknowledgement or an awareness of something that that is a gift. You know, it's a gift either from outside or something that I have. To me, it's an awareness of something special that exists, and actually putting a thought to it where you can actually feel gratitude, feel that that there's something special, which leads to, you know, the abundance and feeling fulfilled.
Right. Yeah, I have that same experience too. For me, gratitude, it's definitely a state of being. It's and because it's a state of being, it also encompasses emotion, which for me is a lot of joy and love and that sense of abundance. That's a hard one to describe. It's a fullness, you know, that's how it feels to me. It's like, I've got more than enough. I have got so much, in fact, that I'm easily able to share it and bring it out to people. Whereas if I'm disconnected from that gratitude, then I get into this strange place of, oh my God, there isn't enough. I don't have enough.
Scarcity
I'm
mentality.
not enough. You know, there isn't enough of this. There's not enough of that.
So we better hold on to everything that we have because I don't want to lose what I have.
Exactly. Right? It's that fear mentality, that fear energy that comes up that just kind of grabs on and constricts and slows things down. And so I guess really the question is, how do we get out of that place and back into this place of gratitude and really amplifying our gratitude?
Well, you were saying feelings and experiences, and I that's why I said to what we are aware of, what we focus on, because for me, it's like if I'm focusing on what I don't have, I'm going to feel a lack thereof. If I'm focusing on, you know, I have this, you know, my wonderful friend visiting me and I have this beautiful weather outside and I have this wonderful dog. It's like suddenly I'm like breathing in, like, you know, the gifts that are around me. And then I will move into this feeling of fullness and appreciation and excitement for my life.
Right. You know, and there are people out there who maybe are struggling and who have difficulties with jobs or with maybe not having enough money, maybe not having enough food to feed their kids.
Do you have difficulties?
I personally don't, not a huge amount of difficulty with that.
Not a huge amount of difficulties, but we have difficulties.
Sure, well,
we have moments that take us sometimes out of that consciousness and the tools of coming back.
Absolutely. But what I'm thinking of is when somebody has that kind of mindset, if they are stuck in this place of believing that there isn't enough, or maybe that they're not worthy, or that for some reason they deserve what God has delivered to them in this life. How can we help those people to begin to get connected to this sense of gratitude so that we can teach them how to amplify it? That's the big question that I'd like to start with. I mean, one thing for me, I know that no matter how bad my life ever gets, there's always something I can look at that says, wow, I'm really grateful for that little thing over there.
Yeah.
And if I can at least find that one little thing, then I can say, wow, there is something to be grateful for. Well, maybe there's something else. You ever done that yourself?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the things you made me think of was the belief that gratitude or focusing on things will actually make me feel better. You know, if we don't believe that that will actually shift something, then people may not, like you said, how do we offer this to you? Like this tool of moving toward gratitude. But if you don't believe that thinking that way or focusing that way is actually going to shift anything, then they actually may not. So the question is, how do we offer something that people can experience, that it actually does work, because we know it works.
Yeah.
You know, so we know it works. So why would we stay in this, oh, I feel like I'm not good enough and there's not enough? Like when we feel that, we instantly go, I'm feeling, you know, empty and scared and fearful. So then I go, okay, let me do some exercises. Let me take a moment to breathe, meditate. Let me play with my dog. Let me really see the blessings that are around me, because I know that when I really look outside myself and see what's here, that I do shift. You know, and that doesn't mean that some of the things that are happening in my life are not there and challenging, but I'm able to be more in a gracious place, a more full place to experience it.
Yeah, that's a lot of interesting pieces that you brought out. And I think that the first piece that really is important for everybody is first connect to that one thing and really experience, what is it that I'm grateful? Why am I grateful for that one thing? When you can answer the question why I'm grateful for it, it has some level of importance to you. You can then amplify that feeling. You can experience and expand that feeling. And once you have that one thing, now you can say, well, if I'm grateful for that, what else am I grateful for? Before you know it, you're starting to see all kinds of things in a whole different light. And when I can see the world in a different light, when I look outside and I can see just nature, for example, like right outside your window here, which is just gorgeous. I am really grateful for nature, because nature is a place where I can go and be completely accepted. Unconditionally. Right.
You don't have to be anything other than yourself and breathe.
Exactly. I don't have to put on my masks. I don't have to put on my costumes. I don't have to show up any particular way. Nature just accepts me the way I am. And that is a beautiful thing. What else is there other than being who I am? If I can be who I am in nature, I can be who I am anywhere.
Right.
It's a story that I make up that keeps me from doing that in any of my life situations. So if I can just take that sense of gratitude from out there in nature and just pull it in and just kind of be with it and breathe into it and enjoy it, I can take that out here, and now I can start feeling that fullness building and growing within me.
Yeah. So again, I think it comes back to awareness again.
Yeah.
Like to find that, oh, wait, I'm feeling a lack. I'm feeling some fear. I'm feeling disconnected to I am fully here without having to do anything except breathe and be in my, you know, the essence of who I am without having to do anything. So when I'm in the story, of I don't have enough, or I'm in the story or the feeling or the experience, because sometimes we don't even notice the thoughts and the stories. We just are feeling, you know, the anxiety or the sadness, and it just overwhelms us. When we can notice that we're not in this place, this centered place, then we can take that tool, maybe nature, or maybe playing with the dog. I mean, that's another, like, I always use my dog because, you know, there's no judgment from my pooch, you know?
That's right.
I mean, even if I accidentally like punch him in the nose, and I do that sometimes, like sometimes he's close by and I'll like, he's there and I didn't know, and like, oh, I just hit him in the nose and he's still like, hi, honey, you know, I still love you, woof, woof. I mean, seriously.
That's true.
So this full acceptance of who I am. So if I'm not in a place of deep then I can go, wait a second, what's going on? And then pull in the tools and then breathe it in and then feel it grow. And like you said, well, if I could be grateful for the beauty outside and grateful for my dog, well, what is it about my dog? What is it about my friend? What is it about, you know, this moment in time? Instead of focusing on the stuff that's not working, we focus on the things that really are. And then we start to feel so much more full, which then allows us to give more to others, which of course allows us to receive more. It's a lovely cycle.
Right. And well, one of the things we talk a lot about on this show is the problems with the ego mind, and how we end up thinking we are something when in fact that's not what we really are. And it's when we get out into places like nature, when we can recognize that we're not being judged, we're not having to posture, then we can connect to the real essence of who we are. And when we do that, then we begin to understand that we're much bigger than the thoughts that we made up in our heads to begin with.
Right.
And so the stories are just ways of keeping us from who we really are. And ultimately, I think that's what gratitude is connecting in with who I really am, who we really are, so that we can share that generously with everybody around us. And that's the sharing that I think most of us really want. I don't really want your stuff, you know? I mean, it's nice when you give me some of your stuff, but I'd rather have you as a being. I'd rather have you as a being. And I want you to show up fully. I want you to be happy. I want you to be blessed. I want you to be fully in love with yourself. That's the kind of person that I'm attracted to, you know? And I think that you're probably attracted to people like that too. Isn't that true for you?
Absolutely. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
And when we're able to show up so in our light, in our fullness of our truth, and we get to see it in each other, it's like this ripple effect where everybody gets blessed by, you know, your truth, your being, which then, you know, they get to have that experience with you. They get to maybe share a smile or a moment with you, which then trickles out to the people that they see. And the next thing you know, it's out in the world. I mean, it's when you think about the world right now and all the posturing that's happening, and I certainly don't want to go into that, but there's so much fear going on, and let's protect our country, let's protect their country, let's protect these people, and this lack of seeing, you know, the beauty, and so there's that energetic of separateness and certainly a lack of generosity for sure.
Oh yeah, and you know, you mentioned the ripple effect.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really, really important point. Every time I take an action, no matter what that action is, or I even have a thought, it has an effect. It has an impact on the whole world around me.
Absolutely.
So I can choose what kind of impact I want to create by taking care to choose the thoughts, the words, the actions, and the feelings that I decide to engage in. And so all of us have that power. Every single one of us. We may say that we are powerless beings. Well, that's not true. We have the power to make those choices right from the get-go. And so this is something that I'm encouraging you, all of you, to think about how you want to show up, what kind of impact you want to create. How do you want to feel about your life? That's, I think, what we're talking about here.
Well, it's about wanting joy and having a fulfilled life. And, you know, and if for some reason you're, you know, saying, God, they're full of it, or, you know, I don't believe any of this, then maybe I invite you to be curious and experiment a little bit, you know, play with this. Well, let's try this on for size. And let me just think of a few things that I'm really happy are in my life. And maybe you even start with your body. It's like, wow, I could actually walk. Some people can't even walk. You know, I have my breath. You know, I'm healthy, and I have my mind, and I can read, I can see, I can smell the flowers. I mean, you could start just with your body and just notice the gifts you have right here. And then you can move it out and expand that awareness of all the beauty in your life. And then check in. Wow, how am I feeling in relationship to how I was feeling before, when I was thinking I don't have enough money in my bank account, you know, what happened to my love life? I hate being online. I mean, you know, all those things. That really helps, you know, have a good mood.
I mean, we can complain about anything.
Right.
That's easy. We're good at that.
Yeah.
And in fact, I believe that our brains are wired to look for things that are wrong, because that's part of our natural instinct for survival.
And we find proof of all the things that are wrong.
Exactly.
Right? And then we're really right.
Yeah. Our ego minds help us with that all the time. That's absolutely true. So what if we shifted and start looking for the things we like, the things that are really good? What would be different? I mean, imagine going to your friend and instead of saying, you know, I really didn't care for the such and such or this or that or the other, you just took a moment and paused and breathed into, wow, this person has been here for me all these times, and I have never once really just taken a moment to say how much I appreciate that person.
Yep. Well, when I was just thinking, you know, the holidays that are here, and, you know, the more holidays that are coming up, and how people sometimes dread being with their relatives. It's so easy for us because, you know, hey, it's a habit. We've done it for many years. We've been trained. We haven't necessarily been trained to see the beauty and feel the gratitude that, you know, for other people. If we look at all the things that are wrong with everyone around us, and we focus on, oh, can you believe she said this? And can you believe he did this? We're going to feel a separation from those people. We're not going to feel the deep connection that we all so deeply want. We all want to feel loved, accepted, connected. But for whatever reason, we end up like judging and focusing on what isn't. And when we do that with the people we love, we're not going to feel the joy. We're not going to enjoy being with them. Let's face it. We're going to be looking at all the things that they're doing wrong. And then we go, yeah, well, I'm so right because they're so wrong. And, can't they see? Don't they know? But is that really how we want to be? I mean, and I guess that's the question. How do you really want to be? I mean, you and I talk, we so want to feel full and happy and share it with others. And that's what we teach, how to have an integrated life so that you can, so that we can help people stand in their light, stand in their power so that they can feel that fulfillment and that intimacy in an authentic way, in a truthful, beautiful way. And by looking at what's not or what isn't or what's bad, it just doesn't work. It works, but we just suddenly feel like crap.
Yeah, it works for a particular purpose. It doesn't work if you're really trying to create love and joy and peace and harmony in your life.
Yeah.
But so it really starts with the gratitude of just recognizing just some things. And I really like what you said about checking in with your body. Well, I have my legs, or maybe I'm missing an arm. I don't know. But what's the benefit? What's the gift I got out of losing my arm? Maybe there's a gift there that I've never thought of before.
Absolutely.
Or maybe you have some disease or something that it's caused you to slow down. It's actually forced you to slow down your life. Well, maybe there's a benefit in slowing down.
Yeah.
You might not see it that way. You may be feeling just the pain of the disease or whatever. And I'm not trying to minimize the pain. I'm just saying, okay, so what else is coming with this?
Yeah.
And what is the opportunity for me? I don't know. I can't possibly hope to anticipate what any individual soul's up to on this planet unless someone tells me, right? So I try really hard not to judge when I see someone who's in pain. I think, okay, I can feel some empathy, but I don't want to try and go out of my way to, go overboard in helping them. They may not want my help.
Right.
They'd rather be more independent.
Yep.
So then how can I help them to be independent? You see, we got to make sure that whatever help we want to offer, it's the kind of help that they want. Right. And so it starts with the gratitude.
Yep.
Once we have that little bit of gratitude, then we can start to feel that sense of appreciation, because we can start looking outwards and say, wow, this all happened because of that. So I can appreciate that and draw more in. And what happens then? We start to feel more full. We start to feel more abundant.
Yep.
And when we have that sense of abundance, no longer coming from lack.
The more than enough.
Right, that more than enough. Now the idea of sharing and being generous is just a natural outflow.
Because why wouldn't we? We have so much.
Right.
Let me share it. Let me give it to everyone that I love, everyone around me, and anything that's around me, because our hearts are full and we want to. And frankly, I always say that giving is probably one of the most selfish things. It's selfish in a good way, because when we give to others, we feel good. When we bring joy to somebody and they smile and they're happy, it's like, I was able to make an impact in their life. That feels good. So the more we can give, the better we feel. The better we feel, the more we can give. I mean, it's a cycle. It's a beautiful cycle. Yeah.
And it just leads to more things to be grateful for.
Yep.
Which then enhances the gratitude. I mean, it's an amazing cycle. And when we live our lives from that place, what we're doing is we're offering more and more and more of ourselves into the world. And how can the world do anything but benefit from that?
Yeah.
So we are creating a more harmonious and loving world just by being ourselves more fully and being grateful for that.
Yep.
I mean, it's a big concept.
It is a really big concept, and it's also such a simple concept. I mean, it's right here. It's not rocket science. It really is just a matter of where we put our focus and what is it that we're really wanting to create. How do we really want to be? It is a choice. And again, not to minimize suffering or challenge or pain. Pain sucks. Loss sucks. Things happen that are really horrible.
Yeah.
And there are gifts there. I mean, I think of some of the most horrible in quotes things that have happened to me, like my dad dying when I was 14. Now, I'm not happy that my dad died. I would be thrilled to have my dad in my life, but I am really grateful for the gifts that I got from it. I've learned so much about love from him, and what it felt to lose somebody that was so close to me. You know, the preciousness of life, the beauty of allowing somebody to touch my heart and for me to touch somebody else's heart.
Exactly.
Now that was a beautiful gift I got from the loss of my dad. So I'm really grateful for the lessons I got from one of the biggest pains in my life. And we all have had some pretty big pains, and some of us are experiencing a lot right now. But where we focus our attention can change it all. You know, what's happening in our life and what might we do with it. And our bodies, I think, are just such great messengers.
Oh, God,
you know,
yeah.
such great messengers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the body never lies. The body is always, whatever messages your body are sending you, whatever messages your body is sending you are true. Whatever messages your mind is sending you may or may not be true. Yeah. Start asking questions.
Yeah, where is it coming from? Is this my truth? Is it somebody else's truth?
Yeah, exactly. So, but trust your body, because your body never lies. All those sensations that come through are 100% true 100% of the time.
Right.
So you can trust those.
Yep.
And that's a beautiful thing. And this is why we tell people on this show and on Junie's show too, feel. Don't think it, feel it. And just let that come in through your heart chakra and wherever else it comes in through. And just breathe into it and say, okay, what's really true for me?
Yeah.
We've got a question on here.
Oh.
So, what's that?
Transmission dead. That sounds scary. Transmission
dead.
What does that mean?
Maybe she can't hear me. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Can you be more specific? But hi, Catherine.
Yeah, hi, Catherine.
Something's dead. Well, let's see where there might be a gift in that.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not meant to hear it. I don't know. Try us again.
Yeah, it's funny how stuff like that happens.
We've been giggling a lot, guys.
Yeah. It's been a crazy few days, I have to say. But you were talking about, the unpleasant things that happen. And, I was having a conversation with Tommy about this. I've been going through some challenges in my own life with, some different groups that I belong to, and some of the feedback that I've been receiving from those people, because they're maybe a little challenged by the way I show up. And so they have their feedback. Their feedback doesn't feel good to me when I hear it. And then I have to pause and check in. I say, so what's the real gift here for me? Is there some truth in the judgment they have?
What can I learn? And how can I, and by looking at what's going on, then it allows you to process what's true for you, what's not true, and how you might do things differently if you choose to, which might connect you in a nicer way with these people.
Right. But the point is, it still hurts.
I know.
It still hurts. I've done a lot of personal growth work, and even in spite of all of that, sometimes when I hear certain judgments, I can feel that little twinge in my heart.
Yeah, I get it in my stomach. I get it right in my third chakra. Like, oh gosh, I got someone punched me in the stomach.
That's right. And so I look at that and I think, and this is where Tommy has really helped me a lot. He says, well, anytime, this is his words now, anytime I feel that little ouch inside, he says, it tells me that I've got more work to do on that little issue, on that trigger. And there's the blessing. Of course.
Yeah.
And so he looks at it as a blessing, and now I'm starting to see it that way, and it's just really awesome.
Yeah.
Do I want to have those judgments hurt me? No. I'm a human being. I don't want to be hurt any more than anybody else does.
And with all the personal growth that you've been doing and I've been doing, look where we are. I mean, we do have our ouches, but they're little pokes versus taking us out of our life and reacting in ways we don't want to react, or hurting people because we're like, like because somebody, looked at us the wrong way. It's like we're able to use the tools and go, okay, what's that about? Let's take a break. Let me check in with myself, and what do I need to see about me? Is there something I need to see? Was there a shadow popping up? What was I insecure in some way and decided, to make you wrong, to feel better?
Yeah. I mean, making someone wrong is really all about feeling right, isn't it?
Yeah.
And feeling right means, so someone is making me wrong, or I'm making myself wrong, or something like that is going on inside me.
Yeah.
Where I just think I'm not big enough, I'm not good enough or something. So I have to compensate somehow.
Right.
And that's where these shadows come into play. I mean, that's what you and I do. We do the shadow work stuff. It's fun, it's complicated, it's challenging. And I'm telling you, just because I've worked on my shadows doesn't mean they've gone away.
Right. Yeah, but we work with them. And going back to the emotions, not only are they great messengers, and kind of like going back a little bit because I'm noticing the time. There's always, it goes so fast. But to really, like you said, to feel the emotions, to embrace the emotions, to allow yourself to feel the sadness, to feel the anger, to really go in, because this culture and this spiritual journey that a lot of us are on, there's a little bit of a shaming thing going on, I see, of you're not supposed to feel angry, you're not supposed to feel the sadness, and if you do, there's something wrong with you. You know, it's a clue that something is off. It's a clue that maybe you're not as connected in the way that you'd like to be, or maybe there's a thought there that needs to be processed. You know, to push it away and go, I'm not going to be angry because I'm a spiritual, loving human being. To me, in the way I look at it, is it's a disservice to the journey, and that there's some gold there. What's going on? Because if you can really go in and embrace it and dance with it and process it, you get control over it. You get to understand it from the inside, and then you could have a different choice in how you show up in the world for others, and especially for yourself. Because being generous to yourself, to be loving to yourself, I mean, really, if we can't be loving to ourselves, how the heck are we going to be loving to anybody else?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I guess what we'd like to do at this point is just give you a little bit of an exercise that you can do on your own to reconnect into something that makes you feel grateful. And Junie, you were talking about something that that you were reminded of before, around, you know, remembering a moment in your life when you were like really happy, or something was making you laugh, or something like that.
Yep.
Why don't you go through that real quick?
Sure. I'll even like demo it, and you can join me if you'd like. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and take a breath. Just come home to your heart. Come home to your heart. You might even want to put your hands on your heart, because this is about our heart. This is about connecting to our truth and our joy. And no matter where you are, without judgment, just be where you are. And I'm going to invite you to think about a moment in time where someone did something really nice for you. Maybe they brought you flowers. Maybe they acknowledged you in some way. But a moment in time that you could remember specifically where you felt seen and taken care of. And I'm going to invite you to envision that moment as if it were a show or like a movie screen, and that it's like a foot in front of your head. And so when you see it, when you could see that moment of where somebody did something nice for you, I'm going to invite you to take your hands off your heart and actually grab it. Reach out and grab that memory and pull it into your heart and breathe it into your heart, and just breathe it in and feel it inside your heart, that memory. And now think of a time where you were laughing so hard. Something happened that was hysterical. Like, really see it. I mean, I have this one thought that, like, every time I think of it, it's just hysterical. And just really see that moment right in front of you, about a foot in front of you. And when you see it, I'm going to invite you to just put your hand out there and grab it and breathe it into your heart. Pull it into your heart and let it mix with all the other memories of all the things that happened to you. And just feel the laughter, feel being seen.
It's warm.
Here's another one. Think of a time when somebody received your love, that you shared your heart with, and they smiled, and you felt so good about sharing your love. Maybe it was with a child, maybe it was with a lover, maybe it was something with a parent. Just a moment in time where you felt the love going outside of you, and it was received so beautifully. And just see that moment and reach out for it and grab it and breathe it into your heart, and let it mix with the joy and the laughter. Let it mix with when you were seen, and just feel all that in your heart. And just be with that. Just be with that feeling. And you could just keep doing it. And can you imagine just doing this with memory after memory? Thinking about times when you did silly things. Hey, here's another one. Think of a time when you achieved something. You got your diploma, or you got the job that you wanted, or you got the guy to call you, or the woman to say yes, or something that you felt like, yes, I did it. And I want you to see it, see that, and feel that achievement, and grab it and pull it into your heart. Take a deep breath and just feel your heart. Feel what it's like to be in this place of noticing these moments that brought you joy of some sort. And when you're ready, you could just open your eyes. And this is just a taste. This is a taste of something that you can do if you need to come home to that feeling.
Right. You can take as much time as you want with that and just think of, for any thought that might come into your mind, imagine the blessing in that thought, whatever it is. Even if it's a thought that seems a little dark at first, what's the blessing in this thought? And you can find joy in pretty much anything if you choose to, and you can be grateful for it. And once you've got that sense of gratitude going, then you notice that appreciation building. You notice the sense of abundance that starts to fill you up, that sense of love that you just want to share with the world. And before you know it, you're out there sharing this very stuff.
Exactly.
You maybe go off and give someone else some flowers, or say a nice thing to somebody, or you become the person that's available on the, on the call or whatever it is.
Because you're feeling full.
Yeah.
You feel like you have more than enough, and you don't have to do anything to get approval because you're feeling lack or feeling not good enough. You have it all happening inside of you, and it feels great. And frankly, it's the truth. It's the truth of who you are, because you are that. You are full. You are everything you need to be and more. It's just we forget. We forget.
And so you can take this and recognize that you are a generous helping. Thanks so much for being with me today, Junie. It's been awesome.
Yes, it's been great.
So we're going to be, I'll be back together with Tommy next week, and our topic next time is going to be called Into Me You See. We're going to have fun with that one. So take care, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays.
Happy Thanksgiving. Blessings to you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.